Spot, can you come over here and say hi?
Oh my God. Hello. Wow, the instinct to pet it is strong.
You might think that you already know Spot, Boston Dynamics' famous robot dog. Maybe you saw this video of it opening a door, or this one of it dragging a truck, or any of the many videos of it dancing. But now this robot has hit a huge milestone. Spot got a job. These robot dogs are now out in the real world doing real work for fire departments and factories, defunct nuclear power plants, deep mines, and more controversially, police departments. You might already be starting to see robot dogs just walking around, and even if you're not, they're starting to affect your life. That's why we're here at Boston Dynamics. We're gonna put Spot to the test to show you what it's really capable of and how our future could be better with robot dogs.
Spot. Omnidirectional robot.
Can be used in a variety of situations.
Several police departments are trying them out. A ton of people are amazed by it.
That was very cool.
Robot dog was sent to Chernobyl.
And there's a lot of people who think this is terrifying.
This four-legged robot dog.
Spot has attracted the attention of the military and the police.
You know, they haven't seen machines move like this before.
Whoa, that's a whole different situation.
Spot is Boston Dynamics' flagship consumer robot. It's cute, it's durable, and it's the cousin to Atlas, the humanoid robot that we bullied in our last video. I'm still sorry. But this robot is just for research. This one is for work. Companies are shelling out anywhere from $75,000 to $300,000 per robot to have Spot on their team. But to do what exactly? Well, if you list out some of the jobs that Spot is doing for these companies, you'll start to see a pattern. At the Purina dog food factory, Spot is inspecting packaging for air leaks. On an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, Spot is inspecting equipment for corrosion. In the ancient ruins of Pompeii, Spot is inspecting grave robber tunnels for the Italian police. And in the remains of the Fukushima nuclear power plant, Spot is inspecting areas for radiation levels and for safety. I've started thinking about this robot as Inspector Spot. This is the Inspector Gadget song. Inspector Spot. Where were we? Some of Inspector Spot's jobs are dangerous for humans. Some are better with more constant or reliable inspection. Some are just incredibly boring. So it makes sense that a robot might be helpful. But why a robot dog as opposed to a robot on wheels? Well, its jobs are in places mostly designed for humans. Okay, then why not a humanoid robot? Well, right now, 4 legs are more stable than 2, and easier to coordinate than 6. Basically, dogs are perfect. But we knew that already. Oh, thanks. Thank you. But you can't just hire Inspector Spot, put it in your factory, and say, go find air leaks. Currently, Spot needs a step-by-step demonstration before it can then do its job. You have to drive it manually through a specific mission, and then it can repeat it autonomously. This includes the ability to improvise to achieve its goals, allowing it to adjust in real time to avoid things like new obstacles. And there's no better way to show that than by taking Spot on an obstacle course.
What's up, bud? Taking my dog to the park. It's gonna get to play with other dogs. Ah. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna ask Spot to go there. And we'll see how it deals with that. So I'm seeing what Spot is seeing. I'm just gonna ask it to go to the end of these rocks. And this really shows the difference between what it's doing autonomously and what it's doing because I've asked it to. I've given it a mission, get to the end of these rocks, but it's figuring out how to actually do that. You got it, bud.
By the way, while I'm teaching this Spot a new mission, that Spot is just casually on a mission that someone taught it days ago. It's funny, the experience of driving Spot felt a lot like playing my Nintendo Switch. And while the robot is fairly intuitive to pilot, things don't always go as planned.
May I try to do things that might cause it to fall down?
Yeah, you can like go over the rocks and stuff and a little bit of this rubble.
Okay, you got it. I can see it looking around at the camera. It thinks it's stuck. Should I help it out? Hey! I'm not trying to make it fall anymore. Sorry!
If there is ever a robot uprising in the future, I am so on their list.
Okay, I'm gonna self-right it. Wow. Okay. I feel proud of it.
The missions that we gave our Spot are fairly simple walking loops, but Inspector Spot can do much more on the job. For example, some companies are developing software to give Spot the ability to identify a person lying down. Imagine the robot is regularly checking a factory and happens on someone who's gotten electrocuted. Identifying that that's a person, Spot could get help. Spot is incredibly robust, and it's built to protect itself from injuries, like falling downstairs. What Spot can do depends on what equipment it's carrying on its back, and there are a bunch of options. To start, all Spots come with a set of cameras to see the world.
Yeah, so Spot has these 5 stereo cameras. It's got 2 in the front here, it's got 1 on each side, and then it's got 1 in the booty.
Yep, Spot's got eyes in its butt. Then, depending on the job that you want Spot to do, you can add additional senses.
So, thermal camera,
Yep.
acoustic sensor, get around unexpected things.
Yeah, enhanced autonomy payload, some LiDAR, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
You can add a bunch of different payloads to Spot, but the one that I really wanted to see was the arm. This was one of the coolest things that they demoed. Spot can open doors. Like, you might have seen these viral clips online, but to see it in person was like something out of a sci-fi movie.
So I just click open door, right?
Yeah.
Can it go through the door just open? Oh! What?
Oh, that's cool.
That was very cool.
See, this is why Spot is so fascinating. It can do things that other robots can't. It's figuratively opening doors to a future where robots can navigate our world just as well as we can.
This type of a robot is used at Fukushima, so it's actually going into areas that there's been no humans in since 2011.
To navigate the Fukushima nuclear power plant, Spot used an arm to open doors and collect samples, a monitor to measure radiation, plus cameras and lights to show people what it was seeing. In complex new situations like that, it's often being manually driven with automated help, like we showed in the dog park. Spot was remote controlled in a similar way in 2021, for example, by the New York Police Department, to find a man hiding in a building after shooting someone over a parking space. From the photos, it looks like it was being piloted by these police officers, and using what appears to be a thermal camera.
Spot's a platform, and you can put all different kinds of payloads on, whether they're an arm or they're one of these sensing or computation payloads. There's a lot of flexibility, and a lot of our customers are actually developing on Spot and building new payloads.
Stop right there. That's the key to this whole story. That idea that robot dogs as a technology are a platform for people to build new capabilities on top of, which means people are going to be able to come up with their own uses of this technology, for better and for worse. That is not a Spot made by Boston Dynamics. There are lots of videos online of people buying robot dogs from other companies and putting whatever they want on top. Spot's ancestors, early quadruped robots from Boston Dynamics, were funded by the US military. They were hoping for a robotic pack mule that could carry supplies in rough terrain. But it was way too loud. As four-legged robot tech got better though, the US military got more interested, and other companies like Ghost Robotics are now building this tech for military use. For example, in 2020, the Air Force partnered with Ghost to use robot dogs as inspectors on Tyndall Air Force Base, notably though not carrying weapons. Still, the robot dogs with weapons future is not hard to imagine, especially if you've seen Black Mirror. Boston Dynamics recently signed a pledge saying no general-purpose robots like Spot should be weaponized, and they believe other companies should commit to that too. I asked them about that.
We believe strongly in anti-weaponization stances with robots, and we believe that all robotics companies should be putting themselves behind these pledges to keep robots improving our quality of life.
But it's clear that not all companies agree on what the purpose of robot dogs is. And beyond weaponization, people strongly disagree about what other jobs Spot should have. For example, should an unarmed robot dog walk ahead of firefighters or police into dangerous areas? Would you feel differently if it was a wheeled robot? If Spots can identify a person having a health crisis, would you want Spots patrolling a city? Does it matter if they're collecting video? Does it matter if there's already video cameras in that same area? I am genuinely not sure how we should use robot dogs. It's up to all of us to decide together. But after spending a day with these robots, It's clear to me that there's potential here to make our lives better. They already are. Double-checking for safety, going where it's dangerous, seeing what we can't. More long-term, we're likely to combine technologies to unlock new jobs for Spot. Just watch what happens when Boston Dynamics adds ChatGPT.
Greetings, good sirs. The charging stations where Spot robots rest and recharge is our first point of interest. Follow me, gentlemen.
In the future, I think that robots with legs will feel to us like airplanes felt to our grandparents. Totally magical and kind of terrifying, but completely normal to our kids. All of that said, that better future with robot dogs isn't guaranteed. If this technology really is a platform, then it's up to all of us to decide how it fits into our changing world. And at the end of our tour, I met a new friend who reminded me, some things never change.
Yes. Yes. Yes, this is a lie-down mission. Yeah.
Inspector Spot.
This episode is part of Huge If True, which is our journalistically rigorous, genuinely optimistic show about technology and the future. If you like this kind of video and you want to support us, the best thing that you can do is to subscribe. And if you want to see our episode with Boston Dynamics' famous Atlas robot, the humanoid one, you can check it out on our channel. So subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.